once this whole mess was resolved. He said once that's done, the day after, I'm going to be pushing to say call a vote on immigration reform. Does he really think that a recipe for success on immigration reform, one divisive issue, is to deal with it right after another divisive issue?
The president believes that one of the consequences of these manufactured crises is that time is taken away from the pursuit of other goals that we have as a nation, and that includes economic goals that go to the heart of his agenda to build a better, building a better bargain for the middle class, and it goes also to the project of bringing about legislation that he can sign that comprehensively reforms our immigration system in this country. Now, that legislation passed the Senate with a significant bipartisan majority, and he absolutely believes that the House ought to take up that legislation and pass it. And as we've discussed in recent days, that's not a partisan pursuit. It's the opposite of a partisan pursuit. One, because it requires votes from both parties, and it also would benefit both parties.
Does he think pushing it right away increases the chances of yielding a result that he might be able to?
I think the president was simply reflecting that, unfortunately, even though we've been pushing for comprehensive immigration reform all year long, and it's been a major priority, there is no question that the decision by the House to shut the government down and to flirt with default has forced him and everyone in Congress to pay attention to those problems and to those crises rather than the many other things that we could and should be working on, and immigration reform is one of them. And I don't think, again, there are many, many proponents of comprehensive immigration reform in the Republican Party and within the broader Republican universe. So this is not he's not saying that he wants to come out and push some Democratic agenda item. He wants to continue the effort that has been underway all year to try to pass a bipartisan comprehensive immigration reform legislation that would strengthen the economy, help our middle class, reduce the deficit, and make us more competitive in the future. So that is one of the many priorities that he will be pushing, and he hopes members of Congress will be pushing once we can move past these unfortunate and unnecessary crises.
He thinks he has a better shot to do that right now, though?
Oh, well, again, I don't think that I can sort of place quantitative odds on the prospects of any of this. Congress is a difficult institution to make predictions about. So our view is simply that it's the right thing to do, and we're going to push for it. And we think there's a strong argument to be made on a whole array of areas when it comes to immigration reform. It's the economically right thing to do. It's the right thing to do when it comes to deficit reduction. It's the right thing to do when it comes to ensuring that the best and the brightest from around the world who come here and get an education stay here and start businesses. And it's the right thing to do when it comes to further strengthening our border security. So there's something in that bill for everyone, and which is why it's the right thing for America. John?
Just one kind of try on phone conversations.